Right.
But what struck me the most about you and Kobe Bryant's relationship, I like hearing the first time you met Kobe, because you actually announced his first basketball game in Los Angeles.
I did. It was a NBA Summer Pro League, which is now in Las Vegas in the month of July. Well, back years back, it used to be in Los Angeles area. It was at UC Irvine, and once upon a time at Loyola Marymount. And during the time Kobe came to the Lakers, it was at Long Beach State at the Pyramid. So the Lakers got Kobe in the draft through a trade for Vlade Divac. A couple of weeks later, he, along with Derek Fisher, showed up for their first Summer Pro League game. Off they get the shuttle in, just right into my presence. I meet Kobe literally as he steps off the shuttle, introduced myself, shook his hand, and started talking to him about some important things he needed to know about LA, about going to the games, about can I say this on your show, Tammi?
You can say anything on this show.
About groupies, okay? I wanted to warn him. And he looked at me at first like, what is this guy talking about? So then I broke it down and I said, you understand what I'm talking about? He said, I understand. So Kobe and I have had a great relationship since then. From that day.
So what year was that? Was that 96?
That was 1996.
Wow.
That night I did his game. I was the MC. I did the game. I called the game. He and Derek Fisher played. Okay, so I called the game, and I think Kobe had 36 points, if I remember correctly, and that was the beginning of the Black Mamba. And I was like, this kid is good. I had no idea he was going to turn out to be as good as he did, but I could tell that night he was great.
You could tell he had something about him.
Yeah. So,
speaking of him having something about him, you said that he told you something you would never, ever forget. And it spoke to his mentality of being the Mamba.
Which story? I told you so many
stories. You have told me a whole bunch of stories.
I've known Kobe for so long.
What he's looking for, what he was looking for when the Lakers, I guess, were down and out.
Oh, yeah. I know what Tammi likes this. He told me one night in the locker room, he was a little frustrated. They were winning, but he knew to get to, now this is after Shaq is gone, and he's trying to get more championships. They had won the 3 in a row in 2000, 2001, 2002. He wanted more championships. He said, we need some dogs on the team. We need some dogs.
Some dogs.
And in particular, he was talking about Tony Allen, who at the time was with Memphis. Tony Allen was a player that Kobe kind of had that Kobe mentality. If you want that, like Black Mamba mentality. He was a great defensive player, and he would really get in somebody's face. Today, a player like that is maybe a Patrick Beverly with the Clippers.
Okay.
But somebody that'll really get in somebody's grill, really get in somebody's face, and not scared. Kobe wanted more players like that on the team. They went out and ended up getting Ron Artest, who later became Metta World Peace.
Well, I was going to say, Ron Artest is definitely a dog.
Yeah, they really got, so they got Kobe some dogs.
They got a pit bull up in there.
And he got his championships. He got 2 more, you know. He wanted it to be his team. He won these championships without Shaq. He had Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Ron Artest, Trevor Ariza, players like that. Of course, Derek Fisher was there. And they did win some more championships. But he loved those tough, hard-nosed players.
Right.
He called them dogs.
Here's something we never talked about. The Boston Celtics have, I believe, 17 championships, and the Lakers have 16.
They'll catch them soon.
Do you think that that's a day Kobe Bryant would have relished when the Lakers would have won their 17th and then gone beyond the Celtics?
Absolutely, because Kobe, you know, he's one of the few players you've seen in sports that played his whole career with one team. 20 seasons with the Lakers. You know, you don't see that in sports anymore. You just don't. Not in football, basketball, baseball. You just very seldom see one player stay with one team his entire career. And free agency is a main reason for that. When guys' contracts are up, they're running for that paycheck, you know. But and Kobe almost left the Lakers at one time.
There was a time he got frustrated.
He almost left for the Clippers. And he told the Clipper people he was coming. But then Jerry Buss stepped up to the plate, they made it work, and they kept him. But he played all his 20 years there. But yeah, he would just love to see the Laker organization get by the Celtics, because he hated the Celtics. Anybody that's true purple and gold, you know, they hate the Celtics, you know what I mean? So Kobe, yeah, he'll be watching from above when the Lakers finally get those championships and get ahead of them.
You met him in '96. Obviously, the 1996 Kobe Bryant is drastically different than the 2020 Kobe Bryant. So what changes did you see in him personally? Like, did he become a little bit off? Like, was he untouchable at some point to you specifically, or were you always able to have a rapport with him?
I always had a rapport with him because I didn't try to rush him in front of people. We always were cool. When he'd get away from the crowd or walk into the car, I'd say, hey, what's up, man? He's, hey, what's up? He'd give me dap, and we may walk to the car together or something like that. I may walk him to his car. But he did get a hard side of him a few years before he retired, where the press, it seemed like, irritated him, and he was more a little standoffish, and he was a little mean and ornery with the press. But he got past that after he retired. He got back to being nice, soft Kobe. But early in his career, when he was a teenager and he was in the beginning, of course he wasn't that tough, but he was learning then. You know, he wasn't that good his first 2 years. He had the skills to dunk and win dunk contests, but then he also would shoot air balls in the games. You know, so it took him a couple of years, but he studied so hard and worked so hard. This guy would show up early in the morning, stay till late at night, and he had that work ethic. You know, so when he hit about 21 years old, Kobe was like a stud. He became like one of the best players in the league at about 20, 21 years old. Yeah. And from there, he just progressed. And he became one of the top players in no time. I mean, the only person in front of him was Michael Jordan. And he took that as a personal challenge. He loved Mike. Right. He studied him. He had all his mannerisms. But that's who he wanted to be better than, you know, Michael Jordan.
I read that in China, he's trending over 100 billion likes.
Right.
And that the hashtag 4 a.m. is trending because he gets up and he worked out at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
And the hashtag We Love Kobe is trending over a billion likes.
Right.
Are you surprised that it's worldwide?
A little bit, but not as much, because when Kobe's last year of playing, his jersey was the #1 selling jersey in China. You know, so he's been popular over there for a while.
Oh, wow.
He was #1 selling jersey in China his last year. And he would go over there in the summer, and usually it was a Nike tour. Nike would take him over there for 2 or 3 weeks. And they just make just thousands and thousands and, well, let's say this, millions of fans, you know. And no, so I'm a little surprised at the worldwide fanfare that he's getting, like in Great Britain and in everywhere else, and all the prime ministers that are writing, you know, notes and saying things about him. So I'm a little like, wow, look at this, you know. But then again, I'm not surprised in China, but some of the other parts of the world, because he's such a smart guy. He was such a smart guy. He spoke fluent Italian, fluent Spanish, and of course he even spoke some other languages, you know. So this guy was really sharp. You know?
And never graduated from college.
Right, didn't even go to college.
Right.
He taught himself on the road game. When they would be on the road, he wouldn't go hang out with the other guys. He wasn't going to strip clubs and hanging out at the parties. He was in the room. Some people, reporters, oh, he's standoffish. He's not hanging out with the other teams building chemistry. He's like, look, they better come to my room and build chemistry with me, because I'm going to be in here watching these tapes, studying this guy's moves. So tomorrow when he goes to make that move, I'm going to swat his stuff out of bounds.
So finally, when we were on the air today, we let all of Los Angeles kind of express themselves and vent about how they felt. And what I heard the most was LA saying that Kobe Bryant came to Los Angeles at a time when Los Angeles needed him. I think Tupac had died. Somebody else had died right around that time. A few callers were saying Eazy-E had died. Tupac had died. The Lakers weren't doing their best, and then enter stage left Kobe Bryant. What has Los Angeles lost?
Oh, they've lost a lot, because he helped, jumping back to what you said, he helped fill that void post Magic Johnson. Magic had retired about 3 years prior when the HIV thing came up, and the Lakers kind of floundered there for a couple of years. They had some decent players. They had Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones and Eldon Campbell, Vlade Divac. They had a few decent players, but they were like a 500 team, meaning they were 41 wins, 41 losses. So in comes Kobe Bryant and Shaq. And boom, they turned around. They didn't turn around overnight, but the excitement came overnight. And then a couple of years later, and then with Phil Jackson, the championships came. Well, LA's going to miss a guy that was great on the court, and since he's retired, still great off the court. When he and Gigi would show up at the Sparks games or the Laker games recently, it was like everybody, the buzz was in the building. Everybody wanted to see, wow, there's Kobe. And not just from the fans, the other players too. They all, LeBron James, all the guys would run over, give him dap. All the other celebrities wanted to go say hi to him, from Denzel Washington to Jack Nicholson to Floyd Mayweather, whoever was courtside. They all wanted to sit by Kobe or go say hi to Kobe. So LA's going to miss him. And, you know, he was just such a great guy off the court. All the philanthropy and the things he did, like you mentioned earlier, those things are going to be missed.
And in one word, what will the world miss without a Kobe Bryant? One word.
They're going to miss a showman. He was a showman, and he knew how to show. You know what I mean? They're going to miss a showman. He's a great guy and going to be missed. I've never cried as much as I've cried the last, 36 hours. But it
I don't think I've ever seen as many men cry in the last 24 hours.
And I've talked to people from my son at 14 to men older saying they cried, nephews of mine. And I'm like, wow, really? I didn't know you guys were into Kobe like that. And it's amazing.
I think I'm going to hashtag January 26th, the day that all the men cried.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, Aundrae Russel, for being
My
here.
pleasure. Thank
It's
you.
a